The implementing rules and regulations for the SIM Registration Act are set to be issued within 2 months. What role would the law play against cybercrime cases in the country? We get the input of Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center Executive Director Alexander Ramos. Sir, welcome to the program. Well, the implementing rules and regulations of the SIM Card Registration Act will be out in 2 months. What does the CICC want to see under the IRR?
Well, definitely. This law was created to protect the greater majority, no? And part of the implementing rules will be the gradual registration. It's not an outright registration of all prepaid SIM cards. We have no problem with postpaid because they already have records with the telecom companies. But the prepaid SIM cards will have to be registered on a simple and doable procedure to be implemented by the different telecom companies.
I know this seems like a very obvious question, but how exactly will the SIM registration law boost the CICC's efforts to combat cybercrime?
As we have experienced in the last few months, the tide of scams involving prepaid SIM cards has really angered the majority of our people, victimizing practically everybody. We were hitting an average of 1 million scam messages a day. And there's nowhere to go because these prepaid SIM cards are very difficult to be linked to somebody who is culpable of any violation.
That's right, and they've become very creative these days, you know, since Globe Telecom have started blocking text messages that have links on them. They say copy this or search this particular website, right? So they find ways talaga. But, you know, former President Rodrigo Duterte vetoed this particular measure before due to a social media provision. Do you think the law will eventually be amended to include this provision on social media accounts?
You see, our law has to be within reach of within our jurisdiction, and social media, that being hosted overseas, is quite difficult to monitor, nor to require the providers with such a requirement. Unlike the SIM card registration, it is within the reach of our jurisdiction, the laws of the land. There's a big difference there. So we might as well control first the means of communication rather than the content, because the content is hard to control.
Well, the CICC has said millions of dollars are lost to tech scams. Now, that is a lot of money. Tell us more about this and how the SIM registration law is expected to fight that.
Okay, let's start with the basic scams, wherein everybody's heard of friends whose accounts are being hijacked. Okay, these accounts are used to contact people within their directory seeking some form of donation or asking money for help. You see, many are still gullible that they think it is a relative or friend who are in dire need, when in fact it is a hijacked account, and they use the automated means of transferring funds through the cell phone, through GCash, to PayMaya, and other online payment system. So that's just one, wherein the general public are really angry about. The other method will be posting links within the text message, which will victimize a subscriber to click unnecessarily into certain sites wherein part of their load are being eaten, or their directory or their personal info, their account will be compromised. So these are just a few methods wherein we lose money unnecessarily.
So how will this, the SIM Registration Act, how will this help the CICC to fight that?
Well, having the SIM card registration will be able to identify. Actually, this method is very simple, no? If a registered number happens to have been used in some form of scam or any illegal activity, we can pinpoint the account, the person or person who are utilizing this, and we can run after them. This is just one of the advantages of knowing who's been trying to scam you.
All right. What changes or adjustments can the public expect from the CICC given the signing of the SIM registration law?
Well, definitely we'll have more ease of investigation, not only CICC, but the other law enforcement agencies. Even the NTC and the NPC will be able to provide the necessary action at a quicker pace rather than what we're experiencing now. It always faces a dead wall. So we assure the public that with this kind of law, we will be able to fast-track investigations.
All right.
And it will definitely reduce the number of instances of victimization.
All right, very quickly on another topic, government websites and accounts are also being hacked, and just today it was the NDRRMC's official Facebook page. What measures should be in place to prevent cyber crimes against the government?
Well, we are now reaching out to our fellow government agencies to really double check the scripts of their websites if they are in accordance with certain standards that DICT has prescribed as a means of protection. You see, every time you make updates, it becomes very vulnerable. Incidentally, other websites that we have already seen are still designed using the old method of web designs. So we have to update it.
All right, so they should keep up with the times. Thank you for joining us, Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center Executive Director Alexander Ramos.